Terence, Ponce, is one of the community managers of the Philippine Ruby users group. He was very active in the tech community as part of various developer groups, but has been focusing on the Ruby community recently. Recently? Isn't it like a while now? Okay. All right. Okay. Terence Ponce.
Hello. Okay. Hi everyone. I hope everyone has had a good lunch. So since we just finished eating, this is my topic is going to be a simple one. It's not even actually related to Ruby if it comes down to it. So yeah. So my talk for today will be about giving back to the Ruby community by organizing community events. So first of all, I know Ramon already gave an intro about me. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm one of the community managers for the local Ruby community here since 2012, and until recently, most of the organizing of the Ruby community has been done solo by me. So I want you to keep that in mind as we do the talk. So first of all, the Ruby community is great. If you compare it to a lot of communities out there, we're one of the most active developer communities out there. And then most of the people here, I think one of the common traits that we all have is that we're interested in contributing in some way through open source or attending events, teaching other people. Wait, let me. Okay, there. So yeah, we have a great community. A lot of people want to learn Ruby because it's popular. It's popular almost everywhere. So with that in mind, I'd like to present you some fuzzy stats about the local Ruby community just here in Manila. First of all, FRUG, or the Philippine Ruby Users Group, is one of the most active communities in Manila. So next, I'll show you a very biased chart here. It's actually not clear here. Anyway, so if you can see here, this is the Ruby Users Group. We have this chart shows the number of events that happened in 2017 for some of the big developer communities around. So the leading here is AWS Users Group. Well, they're really active. They set the bar really high. But if you look here, and the third one, there's us. There's the Philippine Ruby Users Group. So last year, counting all of the events that happened in 2017, we have a total of 10, and that happened without much effort from our part. All we're doing is just organizing the meetups, and then people show up, which is great. Next up, so a monthly Ruby meetup around here in Manila, it averages around 30 attendees, 30 plus, depending on the place. So for example, in Makati, that's where we usually get the most number of attendees. If we do it in Ortigas or in Quezon City, it's not as much. In BGC, that's kind of the right amount. That's where we usually get the 30 plus attendees. In Makati, it's possible to break the attendance count to around 50, which is great. And locally, like from memory, there are over 25 companies in Manila that are using Ruby. So like these are the companies that we've been seeing around. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of companies that I didn't take into account here, but let's just say it's over 25. So now, like at least half of them have hosted meetups, and then like most of them, they've actually expressed their interest in hosting a meetup. So it's great. It's kind of easy on our part because like all we're doing is me along with Janice and Kim, like all we're doing is we're just coordinating the dates and like that the time, the speakers and stuff. But in terms of like finding a sponsor, it's easy. And then a workshop or a code camp for learning Ruby averages around 50 attendees, like more than that. And then that's just counting the attendees that actually showed up at the event. Some of, like, in the recent Women Who Code Manila, like, they had a code camp for Ruby, for learning Ruby, like, and then they had a huge attendance count, and then there was still a huge wait list despite of that. Even when DevCon organizes them, like, we get really huge numbers when it comes to Ruby compared to other languages. So now we have the sponsors who are willing to host the meetups, who are willing to provide the facilities for the meetup. Then we have those attendees who want to get involved with the Ruby community, who want to learn Ruby. And then there's another thing missing. After that, you have a great Ruby community. So what is X? What's the missing piece here? So yeah, what's the missing piece? So it's organizers. So the people who actually like handle this stuff, like the ones who produce. Think of it as like an audience and then someone who produces the content. So without the person who will produce the content, like you won't have any events to attend to. Like if you're interested in learning Ruby and then nobody bothers creating those kinds of events, then you're out of luck. So yeah, what are the organizers? Like you can classify the organizers into these three. First of all, the people who coordinate the event. So right now, that's me, that's Kim and Janice. The speakers, and the speakers are actually very important. Every month, so we have the meetups every month, and this is the most common problem that we encounter. Finding speakers, because right now, like there are only a handful of people who actually are willing to do a talk on the meetups. Since it's monthly and people go there, and if there's only a few of them, then you're bound to see someone talk like straight for 2 months or 3 months. Like every meetup you'll see the same person doing a talk, and eventually, like two things will happen. Like first of all, the speaker will run out of things to say, and second, the audience, the attendees will get sick of the speaker. And that's just that's what usually happens. And then the third thing is other people who are helping out. This can be like Brian. He usually brings recording equipment to the meetup, so we can live stream or we can record the meetups. And then there are also people like who will help promote or raise awareness about the events, be it a monthly meetup or for example this conference, or just plain marketing. So now that I've kind of described uh, what organizing is about, and honestly, this presentation is more of a sales pitch, just to get more people to be involved. So the natural question would be, what's in it for me? What do I get out of participating in this? I mean, it's not this. I mean, it's you won't get rich by doing this, honestly. And so, first of all, yeah, this is one of the perks. You'll gain a network of friends or professional contacts, or friends for life. That actually, this is my most favorite part here, because back in 2012 when I started, actually, I was just this kid straight out of college. I didn't know anyone. I just started Ruby because some guy told me I'd be rich doing Ruby. And then today, I'm here speaking in front of you, and I know almost everyone in this conference hall, which is a great thing. So the next one is, you get to build your credibility. So I can't count the number of times I've been offered a job simply because of my status as the community manager. Like a lot of, I think, well, this is anecdotally, but I think I get hired, like aside from my skills, I get hired because I know people. I have the network of friends and professional contacts. So yeah, it's kind of a magnet, which is great. So next, you get to develop your people skills. If you're participating in this, like if you're part of the organizers, or if you're just plain getting involved in the Ruby community, you're forced to talk to people. So you get to develop your people skills. Like if you're someone who wants to break out of their shell, this is a good exercise. And then next, as a speaker, you get to improve your public speaking skills. Like I remember, back then when I was starting, I was so afraid of standing in a crowd and talking to this many people. And right now, I think I'm doing better. And then, last but not the least, a sense of fulfillment. Doing, I don't know, but back when I was younger, I did a lot of voluntary work. I participated in a lot of developer groups, helping organizing these various developer events. And then I don't really get any monetary value out of it, but there's a sense of fulfillment. If you're getting to help other people get started on the language that you love, Ruby, it's a great thing. And then eventually, after all of these things, combine all these four things, and then eventually you'll probably be rich, maybe. So now that I've sold you maybe on the idea of getting involved in the community, so how do you start? How do I get started on this? How do I get involved? This was actually a question that was asked to me earlier. How do I start? And so as a speaker, you only really need three things. You need the topic to talk about, most preferably in Ruby. You need the slides, like the one that I did just now. This slide was pretty last minute. And then you need to show up. That's the most important part. You actually, if there's a meeting beforehand, you need to show up, or at least be involved in the conversation, because organizing organizing a small scale event, it's not really that much of a big deal, but it really helps if your if you're on the same page with the other like organizers. So, so what about if you want to get started as a speaker, I mean, or as an organizer, or just someone who helps out at the event? There, you just need these two things. You just need to talk to people. Maybe that would be me or the other organizers, and then show up. It's really that simple. It's not that hard. It's easy to get started, and yeah, that's it. So some closing thoughts. This talk, like it stems mainly from the fact that I've been doing this for since 2012. Like it's a lot now, and it's I want to give the chance like to other people. Like it's not. I mean, some part of it is because like I've been doing this for a long time now, but I really want to give this role. Like I want to give the chance to other people. Like it really helps. It really helped me in my career, furthered my growth and stuff. So yeah, like if you're somewhat interested, like you should talk to me about it. So yeah, that's it. Any questions? I think we still have time. Oh yeah, thank you. No questions? Yes, Joy. May mic ba tayo? There.
Hello. So first of all, I would like to dispute the statistics because
I'm sure what you're. So for everyone who doesn't know, Joy is a part of Women Who Code Manila, and so the reason, like, I mentioned that I showed a very biased chart. Like, let's go back to that. There. So, like, if you look at the chart here, like there's only a few groups here. And I didn't include two obvious groups here, and that's Women Who Code Manila and DevCon. So like those two developer groups, they're really big. Like if you compare their stats to ours, like we're just we will get blown out of the water. Yeah, they've organized so many events just in the past year alone.
yeah, anyway, yeah. So we have events every week, so it's way. Anyway, so my question is, what is the biggest challenge for you as a community manager?
I think the biggest challenge is avoiding burnout. Because honestly, as I've said multiple times, I've been doing this for a long time now, and I organize these meetups every month for the past 6 years. So like eventually it becomes a chore. Like, oh, okay, I have to find a speaker, I have to find a venue, I have to find a sponsor. Like, it gets old in a way. So like avoiding that. Oh, okay, what happened? Oh, yeah. So avoiding that, and then I guess aside from that, the next hard thing would be building your network, because as a community manager, like I also need to interact with the people from the Ruby community, like from the companies that are using Ruby, because a lot of them, like they're either, I don't know, they're too shy to reach out to me. So like what I do is I go to them, and then we talk about like things about hosting a meetup. That's really, I think, the hard part, aside from the burnout. Yes, sir.
Hi, you talked about not wanting to have the same person doing the meetup over and over again, and I understand that. I just want to mention an experience that I had when I started my career in New York City. There was a C language meetup. We didn't call them meetups. And the leader of the meetup, every meeting would, for the first 20 or 30 minutes or so, he'd give a little lesson. And that was a great boost to my career. And so that's just another option that you can consider.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, that was just a joke earlier. I mean, we actually almost always get the same set of people speaking, but yeah, I think having like someone do like that, a lesson like every start of the meetup, I think that's a great suggestion. Thank you. Do we have any other questions? No? Okay. Right. Okay, sa talk ko. Thank you.